Welcome to another episode of Music Therapy. I am John Thuen, a mental health therapist, and today we are listening to another Renegade song per your recommendation of Troubles by REN. Let's get right into it.
Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lord, trouble so hard.
Wow, so he is talking here about his medical journey. In the subtext, he's saying, I went doctor to doctor, and for all this time, I was still suffering. I was starting to have psychosis at 25. Wow.
I don't reach into the past very much for these shards of shattered glass and harsh paper cuts. Leave me stop when I reach in, memories are seeped in. Hydrochloric acid, I go to war and get passive and freeze up. Music help the ice to thaw. Put the chisel in the middle, swing the hammer of Thor. Pull it out of the impossible, Excalibur sword, edging up.
I love this flow that he's got here. It's unlike anything I've heard REN drop yet. This is just raw flow here. And to rap about his mental health here and his struggles with the medical system is so refreshing because this beat just makes me want to bob my head and just vibe out to it. Let's listen to this one more time here.
I don't reach into the past very much for these shards of shattered glass and harsh paper cuts. Leave me stop when I reach in, memories are seeped in. Hydrochloric acid, I go to war and get passive and freeze up. Music help the ice to thaw. Put the chisel in the middle, swing the hammer of Thor.
Wow, so he doesn't reach much into the glass because he's gonna be re-traumatized. He's gonna be hurt if he goes back into his past, back into his suffering, and because it is so fresh to him. He is not much older than 25, and he was dealing with medically induced psychosis from Lyme's disease recently. And so it's hard for him to go back, and it's hard for all people to go back into a traumatic experience and really name it and tame it and feel it to heal it. It's so hard to get through those tough times unless you have support.
Pull it out of the impossible, Excalibur sword, edging notepads full of reasons why my feelings are sore. The first day that I got sick, ejected from the cockpit of living. 19, young teen, waking up bitten. Posters up, manhunt, REN went missing. Hard to have faith when the gods don't listen.
Yeah, so he is discussing how difficult his faith is when he is suffering for no reason, no purpose. He's now been able to give himself a purpose for his suffering, but back then it's so miserable to just be in 10 out of 10 pain all the day. And he's saying how he got ejected out of the cockpit of life when he was bitten by that tick. And what a description there of how our health teeters such a fine line, and we can instantly go from full healthy, full living life to really debilitated in 1 second, whether it's a tick bite, a car accident, a mental health diagnosis, a cancer diagnosis. And it's so lucky, so grateful if we're living in a space that we have our health, and we need to really prioritize that because no one else will unless we do it for ourselves. Because as REN has discussed, the capitalism system will exploit your health for monetary gain. Really messed up, but it's just how it is.
Ejected from the cockpit of living. 19, young teen, waking up bitten. Posters up, manhunt, REN went missing. Hard to have faith when the gods don't listen. The first year maybe was the hardest. Waking in the body that was buried like a carcass. Brain in the lion's den, body in the shark pit. Waking up in pain again, aching, broken hearted. Persistent little.
Wow, that imagery he's using there, that brain in the lion's den and then hearts in the shark bin, that is so... The shark pit. Yeah, wow, what a description here. That he is being mentally and physically torn, battled, and bruised in his life. And it is so hard for him to escape this. And the medical system isn't helping. But through his pain, through his suffering, look what he's able to create, right? and it's so beautiful.
Body in the shark pit, waking up in pain again, aching, broken hearted. Persistent little blogger, I was bouncing from a doctor to a doctor to a doctor, like a table tennis game that has no end. So be the fate of REN.
That is so nauseating to just be ping pong back and forth, and having no solution. That just induces vertigo, induces nausea when you are just back and forth with no hope.
Every single question answered with a question on the end. The second year I came to terms with giving up my dreams. Mine was severed from the means to help me write these rhyme schemes. Brain was inflamed, the fatigue was crushing. Hard to remain sane with your brain combusting.
Oh wow, so year 2, so it started when he was a young teen. So at 20 years old, he gave up his dreams because of the severity of the debilitation of his Lyme's disease. He didn't know what it was at the time, but that is so scary. And it shows his progress as a person and as a resilient, tough person who can endure difficult times.
My third year was murder, living in a purgatory full of worry, wouldn't live to be 30.
Oh, I love how he broke that down. He said, purgatory, wouldn't live to be 30. Oh, it's such a powerful rhyme scheme.
Third year was murder, living in a purgatory full of worry, wouldn't live to be 30. Lifestyle hurt me, always in my bed tomb. Rearranged the alphabet and all the letters spelled doom. Light hurt my eyes, popping pills to survive. When you're 23 and mentally you steadily decline. 24 I was poor, disability benefits. What's the benefit of disability? It's irrelevant. 25 and the scars that were etched, they crack. Elastic bands only stretch so far and then snap.
Wow, and he is snapping here. He is fed up with the system. The doctors are failing him. The disability benefits ain't doing anything to help him get better. They're just kind of enabling him to suffer unduly. And that's such a hard, harrowing realization.
Poor disability benefits. What's the benefit of disability? It's irrelevant. 25 and the scars that were etched, they crack. Elastic bands only stretch so far and then snap deep.
You can sense his pain when he talks about those disability benefits and that snapping that he does figuratively in his mind of just being done, checked out, over all of this pain that he's feeling.
Psychosis, hallucinations, troubled vision. Visits from the underworld were conjuring my superstition. 25, living back at home with my mom, but not because I'm a bum.
Well, we see this all the time clinically, is when you're in pain, your mind starts to play tricks on you, and hallucinations, auditory, visual hallucinations can sometimes increase in frequency, and they can help you stay sane to some degree and also make you go insane in some cases if you are in such insurmountable pain that it literally is triggering auditory visual hallucinations.
Conjuring my superstition. 25, living back at home with my mom, but not because I'm a bum, alone and physically done. So thin, so frail, so weak I'd become, and my skin so pale, never kissed by the sun. One time I carved a hole in my chest just to feel. I wish that was a metaphor, the struggle was real.
Wow, so engaging in some self-harm here, it seems, to cope with his reality of living with his mom, of being in crippling pain, of not giving up his dreams. He's not writing anymore. He's basically a shell of who he once was when he was not in pain. Like he said, ejected from the booster seat. And I'm curious, what his intention there was, trying to carve a hole in his chest. Was it to get relief from the pain that he was feeling internally? Was it to regain some sense of control? There's so many ways that people justify self-harm behaviors.
So frail, so weak I'd become, and my skin so pale, never kissed by the sun. One time I carved a hole in my chest just to feel. I wish that was a metaphor, the struggle was real.
So he said, I did it just to feel, meaning that he was so numb that it was the only thing in that moment that could bring him pain, bring him feeling. And it's so important that we have feelings. Otherwise, people who are numb all the time, they don't have the awareness of what's right, what's wrong in their bodies. And it's such a humanizing, grounding experience to feel. And that's likely why he did self-harm there.
When you're living in the Holocaust, you buckle and kneel. There's relief in the teeth of the kiss of cold steel. Facts. 26, I'm highly medicated and the pain sophisticated.
And that's what he's talking about. He's become numb. He's become used to the kiss of cold steel. And that's where he's living, in this pain, in this chasm of suffering.
Kiss of cold steel. Facts. 26, I'm highly medicated and the pain sophisticated while I'm lying broken naked on my back. I brought my microphone until my coffin started dropping raw thoughts with the grim reaper knocking on the track.
I would love to hear his recordings of his unfiltered thoughts in that state. I'm sure they get dark. I'm sure they get harrowing, but it would be so fascinating just to peer into that part of Ren and to see how far he's come, because I'm sure he's come so far.
Pulled my microphone until my coffin started dropping raw thoughts with the grim reaper knocking on the track. But then, man, lo and behold, I heard an angel beckon on this treacherous road. Was a stem cell doctor with a generous glow. In the cell transplant pulled me out of the cold, and my skin got younger and my body got stronger and my stomach felt hunger for a door that was closed.
Wow, so I had no idea that stem cells were actually his saving grace here. And stem cells are like they can be any type of cell. And so with stem cell injections, they seemingly helped him overcome his pain, his stomach pain, his headaches, all of those Lyme disease crippling effects. And it's so fascinating how right when he wanted to give up, the Grim Reaper's knocking at his door. He's saying, "Hey, Ren, I'm ready for you. Come die." And then at that moment of utter hopelessness, he finds the doctor who can help him and the treatment that can help him. And so, such a powerful message. When you want to give up the most, hold on a little longer, and there will be some relief that comes.
Man, lo and behold, I heard an angel beckon on this treacherous road. Was a stem cell doctor with a generous glow. In the cell transplant pulled me out of the cold, and my skin got younger and my body got stronger and my stomach felt hunger for a door that was closed. And my soul heard music for the first time. Beauty was a word I'd use for this gift of gold. Oh Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Make me whole. This music I give you. Pain that I live through. Everything I've been through is yours to hold.
Wow. So that is so powerful, that he is regaining his senses of autonomy, right? His ability to rap, his ability to create music, his ability to eat, his ability to sleep, do all these basic things that we take for granted all the time. And now he sees the beauty in life because he has lived through the darkness. And that's what he talks about all the time, is that in the darkness you have to find the light. And that's what he's done here, is he hasn't given up. He's been steadfast and resilient throughout these difficult times. And he is showing that he does have faith now for his relationship with his suffering. And he sees the purpose behind his suffering that the Lord has given to him.
My stomach felt hunger for a door that was closed, and my soul heard music for the first time. Beauty was a word I'd use for this gift of gold. Oh Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you. Lord, I forgive you.
I love that. So his most impactful part of his recovery journey from this Lyme disease was hearing music for the first time. It sounded like beauty. It sounded like gold to him. And that'd be so awesome if you could hear music through for the first time through his body. That would be so powerful, because it must be like being enchanted, having a spell taken over you.
Make me whole. This music I give you. Pain that I live through. Everything I've been through is yours to hold.
So I love how he is saying that the only thing I had in my suffering was my higher power, was my relationship with God. And I doubted, I questioned it at times. And that's a completely normal experience. And no one will ever know, even if he makes 1,000 songs about this, we'll never fully know the pain and the suffering he endured, the hopelessness, the self-harm that he endured, because it is so difficult to wrap your head around 7 years of Lyme disease, being misdiagnosed, mistreated, taking these pills that don't help you. It's really incomprehensible for another person, but his faith, his relationship with God helped him. I love how he is giving publicity to these underdiagnosed medical conditions, and he's trying to bring awareness and funding and help to people who suffer from fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, all of these crippling problems. Wow. So powerful how he is being a catalyst for change in the community he was disaffected by. The medical community didn't treat him as well as he should have, but now he doesn't want anyone to suffer for no reason again. He wants to bring awareness, bring compassion, empathy, understanding to that problem. And wow, what a purpose, right? To be negatively affected by a medical condition, and then to make music about it. That gives you a big platform to really dive into what's wrong, what needs to happen with the world. And that ending there of those lyrics, of those lines, so powerful. And he has such a meaningful purpose in his life now that he can really bring the medical community to a higher standard and allow us to do better. But thank you so much for listening to another music therapy episode. I know this was long, but all of these REN songs are loaded for all of you renegades out there. I appreciate you so much for being here. If you would please like, subscribe, and comment, I would totally appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next music therapy episode.